Welcome to Chapter 7 of the California Government Politics class. We're going to look at the executive branch. I'm Professor Cohen. The governor of a state or province is the executive head of government in any democratic country and serves as the link between the state and the federal governments. The governor of California is the head of the state's executive branch. They are chosen for a 4-year term and may be reelected by California for only a second term. California's current constitution was adopted in 1879 and has been revised 519 times as of 2020. The executive branch of the state of California is dealt under Article 5 of the Constitution. There are 13 sections in Article 5, numbered 1 through 14, with no Section 12. The governor has the supreme executive power in the state, according to Section 1 of the Constitution. The laws of California are administered and enforced by the executive branch. The California's executive branch is made up of over 200 state institutions and is led by the governor. The people of California elect the branch's executive authorities. They elect the governor, lieutenant governor, the secretary of state, and attorney general. The key actors in the executive branch are the lieutenant governor, secretary of state, the attorney general, the state controller, the state insurance treasurer, the insurance commissioner, and the state superintendent of public instruction. These are the 8 constitutional officers who serve statewide as the executive branch. Governor Newsom is one of those people. The governor of California is the most influential figure of the state's executive branch. He is elected by the people of California and limited to 2 4-year terms. Some of his roles and duties include the state address is delivered to members of the legislature at the start of each legislative term. During the annual budget is presented to the legislature together with projected revenue and cost statements. The ability to veto any bill enacted by the legislature and return it to the House of Origin with his concerns, and of course, appropriations legislation is subject to line item veto power by the governor. For consider and approval by the legislature, key factors by the governor prepare and submit annual and biannual budget proposals to the legislature for consideration and approval. Governors in several other states, commonwealths, and territories have the authority to exercise reduction veto power, also known as line item veto power, which allows them to remove appropriations from budgets they oppose. The California State Guard also is an integral part of the state's integrated disaster and emergency response system under the governor, and the National Guard provides trained military force with unique capabilities. It collaborates with the National Guard, federal agencies, state and local governments, and non-governmental relief organizations for critical assistance when required. Other actors important for the executive branch: in the event of a vacancy, the lieutenant governor becomes governor according to the Constitution. In the governor's absence from the state, temporary infirmity or impeachment, the lieutenant governor will function as acting governor. The lieutenant governor is also president of the Senate, although solely with a casting vote. A casting vote is used to break a tie in a vote. Only in the casting vote may be utilized if it will produce the requisite majority. The Secretary of State is the California's chief elections officer in charge of overseeing and certifying elections and inspecting and certifying voting technology for use in the state. Secretary of State maintains a detailed record of all official acts of the state legislature and executive departments. Secretary of State is in charge of the enrolled copy of the Constitution, all acts and resolutions approved by the legislature, each house's journals, the Great Seal of California, and all books, documents, deeds, parchments, maps, papers retained or deposited in the office subject to law. The Attorney General is responsible for implementing California's laws consistently and fairly and assisting district attorneys, local law enforcement, and federal international criminal justice agencies in administering justice. The Attorney General's constitutional responsibilities are carried out through the Department of Justice's programs. The Department of Legal Programs represent people in civil and criminal cases before California and federal trial, appellate, and Supreme Courts. The State Treasurer is the governor's banker, investor, and asset manager. The treasurer invests money on behalf of the state, cities, counties, schools, and other local governments. The treasurer is in charge of selling and administering the state's bond program, which includes voter-approved infrastructure bonds. The treasurer is a member of the California Employees Retirement System, the State Retirement System, and the California Housing Finance Authority Board of Directors. Key actors also for the state executive is the state controller and the state controller's chief financial officer. The state controller's primary responsibilities include providing sound fiscal control over both public fund receipts and disbursements, reporting on the financial operations and conditions of both state and local government regularly, ensuring that money owed to the state is collected through fair, equitable, and effective tax administration, and providing financial guidance to local governments. I'd like to thank you for tuning in to our discussion over the executive branch.